opinion, brilliant idea, or scintillating story to share with the social hosts? We're all ears. Your comments help spark our conversation. Tweet us, Facebook message us, or send us an email and join the conversation live 5 days a week.
Welcome back. As I'm sure you know by now, the hosts of The Social don't always agree on everything, but there is one thing we all have in common, a love of reading. So we're launching our very own book club, The Social Chapter.
Yay! And for all you bookworms out there, we definitely want you to be a part of it. Now, before we reveal our first book club pick, we could use some tips on how to throw an incredible book club meeting, scratch that, party. Please welcome book club enthusiast Julia Kent. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Julia, I've been to like a couple kinds of book club gatherings. One kind of gathering is super serious and everybody is, it's like a university lecture. And then the other kind of gathering is, well, the book doesn't get talked about at all. So, I mean, what is the right tone to have for a book club?
Well, I think you want to strive for a happy medium between the two things you just mentioned. And I think the key is, have a party, but simultaneously, fit some book talk in there. So you're at a party and you just so happen to be talking about a book.
Right. So are there any hard and fast rules that you want to think of when planning a book party?
I would say no rules. Fight Club has rules, book club does not. So I would say the fewer rules you have, the more fun it's going to be. It should be very casual, relaxed, easygoing, like a party.
Right.
And I would say they're only, not a rule, but a suggestion. Think about the people you're inviting. You want to invite energetic, enthusiastic, fun people who are dedicated, and that's going to make your meetings or your parties really awesome.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the people then. How many people? What's a good size? What's too many? What's too big?
Well, you want to have enough for a good discussion. So you need to have, at least a handful. But you don't want to have too many. So you need to think about your space. So where are you meeting? Are you meeting in a home, a restaurant, a cafe? How many people can you fit in this space? On top of that, you can't have too many people, even if you have a really big space, because you want everyone to be able to talk about the book. Everybody wants to have an opportunity to talk.
Right.
Yeah.
So structure and fun don't always go together. Like, we kind of like the sort of anarchist approach to partying. So how do you structure it while still maintaining that kind of energy?
Well, there really is no structure, and I think that's the key there. But, in my book club, we get there, we, have some food and wine and stuff like that, and then we sit down, and I like to allot about an hour to talk about the book. Sometimes it'll be less, sometimes it'll be more, but a lot about an hour. And then the rest should just be, easygoing flow, chit-chat, that sort of stuff. In my book club, we like to rate books out of 5, 5 being the highest. And we go around the room and everyone rates their book out of 5, and they kind of say a summary of what they thought about the book. And the rating is indicative of what they thought.
At the beginning or at the end? Or
we do it at the end. But you could do it at the beginning to generate discussion, because in our book club we don't always come with discussion questions. Sometimes we do. But the rating really generates discussion. So, if someone gives it a 2, you're like, oh my God, I gave it a 5. How could you give it a 2? So that's a really good way. It's almost like an icebreaker too if you do it at the beginning. So we don't always have set discussion questions. When you get really smart, dynamic, outspoken, opinionated women in one room, you're going to have plenty to talk about. Yeah. You don't need to worry about discussion questions.
What about bossy people? Like, I am bossy.
I'm bossy too.
I want to be on focus and I want to talk about but that's probably not very popular, right?
Well, I think the girls in my book club appreciate that, it is a party. So we're having fun, we're mingling, we're having wine, we're having food. It kind of doubles as a food and wine tasting. We always say my book club has a wine problem, like that. But I think they also appreciate that I'm a bit of a moderator when we go into the meetings, and that there's a leader that's going to moderate the discussion. And, you're going to get off topic. You have to assume you're going to get off topic, but I think it's important that someone's like, okay, back to the book. So I'm talking about the Kardashians.
If you're the moderator, do you have to provide the food then?
Well, in our book club, and I think this is a good suggestion so that no one's inundated with having to prepare, we do potluck meetings and bring your own wine.
Okay.
So it's really like wine and food club, as well as book club. Yeah. So we like to bring, something. Sometimes we like to match whatever it is we are we're eating to the book. So for example, if you're reading Eat, Pray, Love, which is set in India, you could do all Indian food and everybody could bring Indian food, which would be really awesome.
Yeah, and if you're doing 50 Shades of Grey, it's a whole other...
Well, we had one of our members bring red velvet cupcakes to our 50 Shades, because we did read 50 Shades of Grey.
Or meatballs.
Yeah.
Right?
Or meatballs.
Very good.
Whatever.
Very good. Meatballs, good. Love it.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love it. So I just have an obvious question, though. Who picks the book? Or do you have a rotating?
Right, so the hostessing rotates, and then the book picking rotates.
Okay.
So everyone gets a chance to pick a book, and we get exposed to things that we never would read otherwise. I've read things that I never would have read, and that's the beauty of it.
Okay, we've got some true or false book club questions here for you.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. People who have not read the book cannot attend the book club party. True or false?
I feel like at your party, you would definitely be like,
Yeah,
get out. Just get out the door.
You should be able to.
Right?
You should come prepared.
All right. Okay.
Or with gifts.
Okay.
Or wine.
Right.
Right.
Right. False. Sorry, Lady.
I'm not feeling you, Julia.
I would say false. And actually, I say that because we would not have anybody at our meetings if we had that rule some months, because life happens. It happens. You get busy. I mean, we've got 3 pregnant
why be
girls
part
in
of a
book
book
club.
club?
We've got law school students. Okay, so what I'm saying is you should read the book most of the time.
Okay.
Okay,
Like
so
what,
some months-
85%?
I don't have
Can
a
I make
percentage.
a running total?
You can. I don't. So basically, we don't shame people that haven't read the book.
Right.
If you haven't read it, come. There's food and wine. There's, you're socializing. You're catching up with your friends, and also the conversation about the book. You can still intelligently contribute, even if you haven't read it.
Right.
I find. So we always tell. There's girls are always like, "Oh, I'm not coming, Julia. I didn't read the book," and I'm like, "Stop it. You're coming. You're coming, and you're gonna have fun. And it doesn't matter that you didn't read the book." So I say false. You absolutely can come if you didn't read it.
These are fantastic tips, and I think that I'm looking forward to doing this. It's time actually to reveal, though, the Socials chapter's first book. Drum roll, please. We get a drum roll?
You get the book.
Lady?
It is Night Film by Marisha Pessel. This is our first book club book. It's our inaugural book club book. Everybody read it.
And I just started. You've read it before.
I have. I just finished.
And I'm finding it absolutely compelling. And our friends at Random House are sending everyone in our studio audience home with their very own copy. Yay! To weigh in on Night Film and to see what others are talking about and saying about it, visit thesocial.ca/the social chapter, and we'll have our very first book club party right here on the show in just a few weeks. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
There should be a book club before.